The following broadcast contains the sole opinions of Cyberpunk Jordan and does not represent anybody else but him. This broadcast includes a skip story feature. To skip to the main content of this video, simply skip to
Insert section here.
or select the timestamp in the video description. But why would you want to do that? My head. Zwolf? Bob 18? Anybody? Hey Jordan, if you're reading this, that means you're finally awake. Do you mind telling me in the future if you're going to have a coma after turning into an anthropomorphic horse? Because that means you are probably really confused about what's going on right now. I want to explain everything to you when I'm finished looking around the area and getting some necessary supplies for us, which should take a couple hours. In the meantime, you need to rest. You've recently been through a literal life-changing event, and I haven't even detailed the whole "you're an anthropomorphic horse" thing yet. Don't worry, I'll have some rest too when I come back. Love, Zwolf. P.S. I finally managed to finish that custom operating system we were working on for the computer terminals. It circumvents the normal operating system and installs a custom firmware, which includes an unrestricted internet browser and the ability to purchase video games. It's already inserted into the disk drive. Hope it helps you relax. Smiley face. Furthermore, if you don't see me in a week, assume the worst. I normally say no to resting and head out to find her, but frankly, the last time she was angry, she nearly destroyed a train car over stolen jelly beans. So I'd rather not anger her about this. Hey, Hypnospace Outlaw! I remember seeing a trailer for it a while back, which immediately was interesting because it looked like something from the mid to late 1990s internet era. An era of computing I practically grew up with and currently research/obsess over. Now it's finally out, I guess I'll give it a quick play and... okay. Oh gosh, I definitely need to talk about this game. Hypnospace Outlaw is a simulation game that mimics the style of 1990s computers and internet, and it's one of the best titles that I've ever played in recent memory, and I would like to talk about why. But before we do that, attention! The following contains minor spoilers for Act 1 of Hypnospace Outlaw, as I need to spoil some aspects of the game to further discuss what makes it incredible. Hypnospace Outlaw is without a doubt best played blind, so if you want to have the full experience, please click off this video and come back later. It's worth it. Trust me. Hypnospace Outlaw, like any game, needs to have a story to make all the other elements like gameplay work. I will note not every game needs to have a complex story, as there are instances of style over substance games like Ubisoft's Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon. However, even in these cases, there's at least a simple story to allow for the other elements to shine through. Furthermore, Hypnospace Outlaw is a simulation title focused on investigation and solving various cases, so a compelling narrative is kinda necessary to keep the player invested and rewarded in those aforementioned cases. This is accomplished in two different methods: visual design and writing. In terms of visual design, it would have been easy for Hypnospace Outlaw to simply capitalize on the recent popularity of 1990s nostalgia, but thankfully it's used here to tell a story. That story being your recent volunteering as a Hypnospace enforcer, tasked with monitoring an internet service called Hypnospace in an alternate 1999, where the internet is accessed while you're sleeping. It would therefore feel very weird for the story not to have the aesthetics of 1990s computers and software, but rest assured that everything from the structure of walled garden communities, infamous under construction placeholders, and annoying software that makes me want to throw my computer out the window, makes it very much set in an alternate 1999. Without this visual design, Hypnospace Outlaw would lose one of its key ways in telling its story. But Hypnospace Outlaw also needs meat on the bone in the form of writing to further cement the latter. It also needs writing due to the aforementioned focus on investigation, which requires well-written clues to solve various puzzles and create rewarding information. Hypnospace Outlaw is one of the most well-written games I've ever experienced, with nearly every aspect from the emails to the web pages telling stories of corporate conformity, laughably dated culture, and what the heck things through well-written text. We've established that Hypnospace Outlaw is a well-written investigation story featuring complementary visuals, but Hypnospace Outlaw needs to have gameplay that strengthens its aforementioned focus on investigation and solving cases, which means crafting well-designed problems with logical solutions. I've not seen many titles that either focus on or implement investigation/mystery elements correctly. Grim Fandango Remastered, while a point-and-click adventure title, is an unfortunate example of this, as many of the problems/puzzles in that game, such as a pipe puzzle where you're trying to knock down a tree, feature solutions that often don't follow logical sense or are simply too obtuse without the help of a walkthrough. Thankfully, Hypnospace Outlaw, with two exceptions, follows a logical pattern where the solution that you logically think is the correct answer is the correct answer. This is exampled in the game with the first case, involving taking down infringements of a copyrighted character known as Gumshoe Gooper. When clicking the link that takes you to the internet browser, you'll notice two key features that further alleviate that abstract puzzle design problem. The first is the search bar, which allows the player to type keywords or users into it, which in this case the player would likely type in Gooper or Gumshoe Gooper or something like that. It then lists pages that are associated with that word, which can be explored and maybe lead to a solution. There's also the addition of tags on the right of the screen when a page is displayed, which can give even more hints on what to search for next. The early solutions to a puzzle are also streamlined, with 5 different categories of infringements: content infringement, harassment, illegal or profane activity, malicious software, and extra-legal commerce to choose from located in the hammer icon near the search bar. Once selected, the player then drops a quite literal ban hammer on whatever might violate the rules of Hypnospace. The solutions obviously become much more complex with the introduction of new mechanics and ideas, but these are introduced gradually, and said solutions never felt frustrating or obtuse. Hypnospace Outlaw is therefore one of the few investigation-based games that I was able to complete with very little help. Even then, there's a secret hint system if you really get stuck. So, Hypnospace Outlaw has an excellent story backed with equally excellent visual design, writing, and gameplay. What else is missing? Oh yeah. I would have normally included this section with visual design, but Hypnospace Outlaw has such a unique audio design it deserves its own short section. Instead of licensing popular music from the era, Hypnospace Outlaw reinforces the 1990s aesthetic with its own original soundtrack. It uses a wide variety of tunes and styles to convey different messages, from the retro/haunting sounds of Boot Up, the comically stereotypical corporate sounds of Merchants of the New Wave, the absurd sounds of Pizza Time, to the melancholy finale of Hypnospace Anthem 2000 New Year's Eve. The latter is one of the best end credit songs in a video game, and y'all can go ahead and fight me on that one. Hypnospace Outlaw is an excellent title because it excels in nearly every field, from the story to the design to the gameplay to the music. It features well-designed cases to solve and helpful additions that avoid the quote, abstract puzzle, unquote, design flaw that I often find in titles that either focus on or use investigation elements/puzzles. It's not too often that a game like this comes around, so I cannot recommend this game enough for anyone interested in the premise that's a simulator/investigation game, or wants something just completely weird. You won't be disappointed. It's the type of game I would like to show my kids because it perfectly represents what this medium of video games can do in terms of storytelling, among other things. Well, I don't think that was bad for our first take. Oof. Glad to see you too, Zwolf. So, you mind telling me what's been going on around here?